And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's me, Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! Let me check out the live chat here. Ooh, you are looking lovely as always, my friends. We have an awesome guest tonight. I'm very excited to talk to them. They are the author of these beautiful books behind me here. One of the nicest, kindest writers I've met, people I've met on BookTube and in general in the world. And I started reading this book. So once again, I am surprised so far that even someone as kind as my guest tonight can write some dark and dastardly fantasy, which I love. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest tonight, Mr. Jeffrey Speight. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Your energy is infectious, so I'm feeling good.
Good. Now, did I pronounce your last name right?
You did.
Yes. I said it wrong on one of my videos talking about this. I said Speight.
Yep.
Or Speight. No, I think I said Speight. And then I was like, oh, that's not right. I'm a poet and didn't know it. I just wrote
It's one of those things that you just learn to roll with the punches because it gets messed up so bad, and you get things that you get Sprite, and you're like, there isn't even an R in there. I don't know where that comes from. So.
Oh yeah, I know.
It is.
It is. My last name's Cousineau, but it's spelled cousin with an O at the end, and I get Casino, Cousino, Quizno. Like no one ever says my name right, so I get that for sure. All right, let's shout out the chat. So far, we've got one friend that shouted out and said hi to us. So I got to say hello to Mark, the avid book junkie. Thanks for being here, my friend. We've got some more people trickling in, and we'll shout them out as they pop in. But thank you so much for doing this, man. We have been trying to figure this out for a while because you were one of the first authors I reached out to when I started doing this thing. And one of the first authors that was kind enough to send me a copy of their book to check out. And I got to say, one of the first authors to send me a book that was as pretty as your books are as well. They are gorgeous, man.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad we're finally getting a chance to do it. It's been a long time coming, and my schedule always messes things up. So I've got a window, and we're here to hang out.
That's right. Well, it's partially mine too, because I always gave you the days that I was free. So it wasn't just you.
It all works in the end, right?
It's all that matters. Yep. For sure. All right. So to start off, just to make things simple, I'll just let you do a quick introduce yourself and just tell us in your words about your books, about this awesome trilogy that's behind me here.
Yeah. So I'm Jeff Speight, author of the Archives of Elevium, which is a trilogy that just completed. Book 3 came out January 1st of this year. Book 1 is Paladin, Unbound, followed by Mystic Reborn, and then God Ascended. The story arc follows a half-orc mercenary named Umra the Peacebreaker, who is hiding a bit of a secret and, has to unveil that secret in order to realize his true potential and save his land, Elevium, in the process. And then from there, we follow Umra as he fights bigger and bigger baddies and tries to save his world. So that's kind of the journey we follow with Umra.
Ooh, nice. I love it. And I just finally started reading it. It's been like right there. I just want to read it all the time. And then finally knowing you were coming on, I'm like, that's it. I'm starting it.
Yeah.
And I love your writing style. Like I sat down, I'm like, I'll just read a couple chapters. And I think I read in one sitting like 5 or 6 chapters just because it was so good. And then today when I was at work, so I work, I'm a special ed resource teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So I have kids come to me and then I give them work to work on, and then I kind of help them, assist them if they need help or reteach things. So normally if they're all busy working on stuff, I'll work on paperwork or catch up on things. But I pulled up my Kindle Cloud Reader on my work computer. Don't tell anybody. I was reading some more Umra because it's just, I love your writing style. It has like a very like, I don't even know, like just chill, like classic feel to it, but then like it also feels really modern. And I love the characters, and like I'm loving your writing, man. So I'm really pumped to keep going on with it.
Well, thanks. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I'm interested to hear when you get through the trilogy what you think, because I think the writing style evolved a lot.
Oh yeah, I bet.
During the course of the 3 books. And so, looking at God Ascended and comparing it to Paladin Unbound, I'm like, it's night and day to me. I don't know if everybody else notices it, but to me as the writer, I'm like, I love Paladin Unbound, but if you were to have a second shot at doing your first book, it would be different because you've evolved as a person and a writer, and hopefully you've gotten better along the way, right? So
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about the whole trilogy.
Oh heck yeah, I'm excited. All right, we got some more people popping in here. We got my friend Keys. What's up? That's right, another live. We love it. Derek is here. What's up, Derek? Thanks for being here. Oh, ZK and AK. All right. What's up? Thanks for being here. And then another author here, Timothy Wolf. What's up, my friend? Happy Tuesday to you. And Sam Sargent is here. What's up, Sam? Right. Thanks for being here.
Good crew. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we got a great crew popping in here. All right. So first thing I want to talk about is talking about your books. You talked about how you feel like things have changed over the books. When did you first release Paladin Unbound, book 1? When was that released? So
Paladin Unbound was 2021.
Okay.
Mystic Reborn came out in 23, and then God Ascended just came out, beginning of 25 here. So
you've kept it on that 2-year schedule. That's pretty good.
Trying to, and it's tough because a lot of it's out of your hands. I mean, like, and Paladin Unbound was supposed to come out a year earlier, but we had this little thing called COVID that disrupted a few things.
A little bit.
And so, but it ended up giving me more time to get out in front of it on Mystic Reborn because of the delay on Paladin, because it was pretty much done, but not ready to be released.
Right.
And so that helped me compress things a little bit, because it does take me time, because this is kind of a side hustle kind of hobby. So
right.
So it isn't something I can dedicate 8 hours a day to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you'd never guess it by the covers and by what I've read so far, my friend. You're doing a good job for a side hobby.
I can't take credit for the covers. Omer Brock O'Neill is a phenomenal artist, and he did all 3 of those covers, and crushed it. Following Omer as he is on his knees in the first cover, standing strong in the second, and then flying in the third, and that's just how his story arc goes.
I held up the first one earlier. I got to hold up these other 2. So this second one, I mean, just look at that. Looks so good. And then the third one looks awesome. Just came out. Love that skyline. That looks awesome. So yeah, beautiful. How did you find your cover artist? How did that process go for you?
It's actually a really cool story. So I'm indie published with Literary Wanderlust, which is a small press in Denver.
Okay.
Been a great shop to work with. Love the people there. But on the day I was supposed to get my artwork for Paladin Unbound, my publisher called me and said that the artist could not do the work, and I wasn't going to have cover art in time. And that the choice was to delay the release again, or to do a quick cover that might not be as impactful for the story. And I thought that was a mistake.
Right.
And I said, give me 24 hours before we make the decision. And I reached out to Zach Argyle, who I'm sure you probably know.
Oh yeah.
Author of Threadlight and everything. Great guy. Has become a really good friend of mine over the years. And I said, can I get in touch with Omer? I loved your covers. I'm in a pinch here. And so Zach, put us in touch. And Omer was gracious enough to do Paladin Unbound cover. I think he did it in less than 2 weeks.
Really? Wow.
And just turned it around. And I think he got COVID in the middle of it.
Oh my God.
Like, it was just like, and he was just fighting through it, and just like, like, what a champ. I mean,
yeah.
And the same thing for the maps inside, which were also supposed to be delivered by the same artist. And I ended up, I knew Thomas Ray from the indie fantasy community. He is a great indie cartographer.
Okay.
And I reached out to him, and he did the same thing for me and put together the map of Evelium in record time to be able to get the book out on time still.
Wow.
So that was a stressful but
I bet.
interesting time. And to be honest, they would have never looked this good without that happening. So I'm grateful for that. Some things happen for a reason sometimes. And
right. Yeah. Who knows what it would look like without having these people do it. Yeah. That's crazy to think of. That's wild. So, I thought I recognized that artist's name. So he did the Threadlight, all those covers. Okay. Yep. I can see it now. Yeah. Oh, he does an awesome job. That's awesome.
He's done a bunch of stuff now, and he's really come a long way, and deservedly so. I mean, his artwork's beautiful. So.
Oh, for sure. I love these covers. We had a couple more people pop in. Mr. Roro is here. Thank you, my friend. And another author, Alex Shorman. Howdy, howdy. Thanks for being here. All right. So tell me a little bit about your journey to that first book. So I just like to think back to when you were just a little sprite. Tell me about where your love of writing started. Like, did you write when you were young, or did it not come about till you were older? And then when did you decide you really wanted to go for it and write a book? And then did you consider traditional, or did you go right away to indie publishing? Just tell us a little bit about that journey for you.
Yeah, so I always loved fantasy, and I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
And would DM and stuff like that for my friends. And so you learn to be a bit of a storyteller, and you're kind of doing all the heavy lifting, just creating the world and doing all that kind of stuff. We were never one for modules and all that kind of stuff. We kind of always want to just go off on our own. And so I kind of started there in terms of like the world building and character creation and all that kind of stuff. And was really into reading fantasy books back in the day, the R.A. Salvatore, books, the Ravenloft books, all that kind of stuff. I loved growing up. And so really, that was it. I was just always a fan of fantasy, Lord of the Rings, the whole nine. And so when my kids started getting old enough, I wanted to teach them how to play D&D. And so of course I did the most complicated thing possible and created this huge, vast world, all these cool, NPCs for them to meet and all this kind of stuff. And I think we played 2 sessions, and they were like, let's go back to Minecraft. And I was like, what? Like, I spent all this time. We literally ended the session coming across a half orc in armor laying unconscious in the road.
Oh man.
Now I think you've probably gotten that far, that you've seen that scene. That is literally where our campaign ended.
Okay.
And then I said to my wife, I was like, I did all this work. I really loved this story I was going to tell them. I think I'm going to amp it up and mature it for an adult audience. And then write a book. And she was like, great, sounds great. And I never thought I was going to publish. I just wanted to see if I could do it.
Yeah. And
so I wrote, what became Paladin Unbound, and I showed it to a friend who is a published author, and he said, you should get this published. And so I started going down that rabbit hole, and I knew nothing about the industry. I didn't know about self-publishing versus traditional versus whatever, and so, I started querying at the beginning, and I was like, this is going nowhere. And so I started doing some more research, and then I was considering self-publishing it. And then I entered a Twitter competition. And you got one tweet to describe your book. And Literary Wanderlust reached out, said they'd like to hear more. And I kind of gave them the full summary and pitch, and from there we, put 3 books together. So,
oh man, that's a wild ride.
Yeah,
that's so cool. That is awesome. And you've been with them through all 3 books, right?
Yeah,
that's cool. That is awesome. Let's see. We got another couple people pop in. Another author, Ryan Skeffington, Skeff Dog. What's up? Thanks for being here. And Josh at Already Overbooked. What's up?
Yeah. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, Josh is awesome. And then Alex said the story hook got the DM instead of the players.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, it's funny how that works sometimes. My oldest son was into it. We played. He still plays D&D and
Oh, nice.
loves it. The other two were just, you know, I don't know
right.
if they were just too young to really appreciate my artistry, or, you know,
we're gonna say that's what it was.
you know, or if Minecraft is in fact more interesting than their dad making them sit at a table for 2 hours and roll dice.
That's could be something to do with that. How old were they all when you tried to do that?
So Wyatt was 10, maybe 11. He's my oldest. And then, so that would put Owen at 8 or 9, and Henry, you know, 5 or 6. And Henry, we didn't even have a full character. We just decided that Henry's character would hit on every single dice roll because he would lose it if he didn't hit, you know. He would just go nuts. So we just like really weakened his character, but let him hit on every single roll. So
oh man, that is awesome. That is cool. Okay, we need to take a quick pause, and I need to say a special thank you here to my friend Timothy Wolf. So probably like in the last like a week ago, I got to a point where I could be halfway monetized. I can't do like AdSense and all the big stuff quite yet, but I can do supers in chats and live chat now. And my good friend Timothy Wolf, that was my very first one.
Wow.
So thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm going to
screenshot this bad boy later. That's going to be my first money I make from YouTube. Boom.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You know,
it's all because I had you on.
That must be it. It's, you know, it's my fame that brought you that $4.99.
That's right.
And I'll take credit for that. But seriously, it's amazing because there are so many great content creators like you know, in the book community, and the fact that you guys can't get monetized more easily is just crazy, because you do such great work and the channels are fantastic, and so many people love them. So, you know, you deserve it.
Well, I appreciate that, man. It's authors like you make this fun and very easy. Like, I've loved chatting with you, and I love these books. And now that I've started reading it, I'm wondering why I waited so long, because it's really good, man. And I can't wait to shout about it and videos on my channel and stuff.
Awesome.
It's awesome. All right. So we talked about the cover and kind of your journey with the books. You mentioned a little bit some of your inspiration. What were some other big authors that inspired you? Some of your favorite authors growing up? You talked about R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah.
And who else did you say? I thought you said somebody else.
I talked about the Ravenloft books.
Yeah.
Other authors that I grew up on. I mean, those are the big ones that I read a lot back then. I mean, obviously, I did the whole Tolkien thing. I mean, I love those books. And another series of books where you can definitely tell a progression in the writing style from book 1 to book 4, I guess. You know, but those had a big impact on me as a kid. And then, you know, all those other fantasy books. Did the Dragonlance thing for a while. You know, so all those classic fantasies, the Forgotten Realms stuff more broadly. I mean, that's, you know, I loved all that stuff, and so I was really into that growing up. And then I went through like a vampire Anne Rice phase and stuff like that for a while. You know, it was the 90s. It was edgy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe 90. Was that 90s or?
I think it was 90s. Yeah.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Interview with a Vampire and everything. You know, it's kind of went through that kind of phase for a while, and always kept finding myself coming back to the classic fantasies and stuff like that. So
nice. Now, as a writer now, pumping out these books and working so hard at writing, plus your job and family and everything, do you still find time to read now, or has that had to take kind of a back seat with everything else going on?
I do. I rely a little more heavily on audiobooks these days, because I can, you know, have that on while I'm kind of working and stuff like that, or while I'm driving kids around all over town and doing all that kind of stuff. So I rely a little bit more on those, but I do read regularly, and I think that's important. Is right. I mean, I still read things, and I'm just like, they're so much better than me. I would never have thought of writing it that way,
Right.
and so you'll learn a lot from other authors and their craft and everything. And so I think it's really important to be a reader if you're going to try to be a writer. So
nice. Okay. Where do you think you drew most inspiration for like your characters and everything? I know you created it for that D&D game, but was anything based on certain things you read, anybody in real life, anything like that, or was it all just kind of just came as you were creating this game for your kids?
There are little bits of people in there and stuff like that. I wouldn't say there's any major influences.
Not like a one-to-one or anything.
I mean, I love the Elder Scrolls video game series. I mean, to me, Oblivion is the best video game like ever made. I would play that forever, and so I do like that. I liked the way Oblivion was like, cross into the dark realms and all that kind of stuff, and, it was that was just a love, evil cult, all that kind of stuff, so some of that is definitely throughout, but a lot of this stuff more so comes from just my love of Dungeons and Dragons over the years and some of the experiences I had, playing there and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Now, do you still game now?
When I have time. Time's pretty limited. My oldest son is really into Warhammer now.
Oh, nice.
And so I try to play with him every once in a while, but he just crushes me every time we play. So it's how it goes. I still get, I still hop on and play. I like Valheim. I've been playing a little bit of that every once in a while.
Okay.
You kind of take, it's kind of low stakes for the most part.
Right.
And then
you don't have to get super invested.
Yeah. Then you can amp it up when you want to, and stuff like that. So that's been a fun game. Otherwise, I haven't had a ton of time to game lately. And tabletop, haven't played D&D in a while, but I'd love to hopefully find some more time to do that. I think I'm playing actually on a live stream sometime in March.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. I was gonna say, like, I know a lot of people in this community have started to do that more and more. So say find some people to hop in with. Now that's something I've always thought sounded cool, but I never have done it. I just never had any friends or anybody that did it. So like it was never something I got into. Just always thought it sounded cool, but never did it.
Well, now you have a beast friend forever. So maybe we have to set up a little campaign at some point.
Yes, you're gonna have to help me learn how to do it.
Absolutely. Sounds fun. Yeah, I played live for TBRCon for 2 years, which was fun.
That's cool.
Tom Bookbeard was our was our DM, and we had a blast doing that. So
that sounds like a blast.
Fun to it's like reliving your childhood. I mean, it's a blast.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's awesome. So I have a few questions about your writing process that people always love to know about an author. So first up, do you have like a set time of day that you write, or like a set goal for per day, per week that you stick to, or do you just kind of write whenever you can and whatever happens?
Yeah, I've tried both, but really because of other demands, I've got to be opportunistic, and it's just kind of find the time when I can.
Yeah,
and oftentimes that'll be at night when the kids are kind of doing their own thing, getting ready for bed, and I'm just kind of like, all right, I got a little bit of time here to just but sometimes you're in the middle of the day and some idea pops in your head and you're like, I at least have to write this down or I'm going to forget it and everything. And then weekends, it's like I tell people, some dads go golf. They go play golf. They're gone for 6 hours. I lock myself in my office for a couple hours and try to, crank out some words. So that's kind of the way it works.
That's what you do for fun.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nice because it really has been great for me to have that place to escape to. It's the only thing that's really only mine, right? And while I'm working on it, and you can just get in there and immerse yourself in it and be in another world for a little while. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And then when you are well, first I should ask this. This is probably the biggest one. Do you when you've made these books and you're preparing to make them, writing them, are you a plotter, a pantser, or somewhere in the middle?
I am a pantser at heart.
Nice.
Paladin Unbound was purely pantsed. It was
Okay.
just, that thing was just taking me wherever it was going. It was a lot of fun to write. I found, though, that when writing a trilogy, I mean, I needed a little structure around the later books because I then needed to fulfill promises, kind of, wrap things up, tie up loose ends, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to just get pulled off on these, side stories and everything, and then have trouble getting the story back online and all that kind of stuff. So I did some outlining for the latter two, but not heavy outlining.
Okay.
Kind of like chapter 1, Umra goes here and does that. Done. Chapter 2, Talus goes here and gets into this trouble, and that's pretty much it. And just to kind of keep me on track, but to still allow my imagination and everything to kind of take me where it wants to go without veering too far, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that makes perfect sense. I feel like you have to have like a basic structure, or at least have an idea where you want to end up. Even if you pants, because I feel like it would get tough if you didn't have some kind of direction, a little bit at least, that you're heading towards.
I mean, I knew the storyline for all 3 books before I wrote Paladin Unbound, but but you still do need a little bit of structure for it. And what I'm working on now, I'm working on a short story that I'm completely pantsing, and then I'm writing another novel that I did some decent outlining for because I really wanted to kind of nail it down. So we'll see how that goes.
Ooh,
But the process kind of evolves for me. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I'm not 15 books into my writing career, so it's still something I'm learning and trying to hone.
That's good. I feel like anything in life, you should always be a lifelong learner, right? Be willing to be flexible and grow. And like you said, you feel like your writing has gotten better every book, and it's probably because you're willing to try different things,
Yeah, and I hope that, like, by the time I write book 10, I look back at book 1 and I'm like, God, terrible. It's like, but and that's you want to be progressing and growing and everything. So otherwise, what's the point?
Right. So. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So that reminds me, I was going to circle back to your books, but since you just talked about what you're writing, so is this trilogy like contained? Is it like a beginning and an end? Is what you're working on still in this world? Is it with the same characters, or is it something totally different?
Yeah. So it's in the same world, but at different periods of time.
Very cool.
And very tangentially related to Umra's story arc, but not at all. This trilogy is a completed story arc and trilogy. That's it. It's done. And everything else is, there's little bits and stuff that you'll pick up from the other books, but nothing that's going to be directly related to these 3.
Okay, that's very cool. I think that's awesome when authors do that. If you have a trilogy and then you stay in that world and either skip time forward or back, or you drop in over here and look at different characters going through things, like, I think that's really cool. And like you said, you love this world you created. You might as well stay in it and play some more, right?
Yeah, and I made a very controversial decision early in Paladin Unbound. And so, without spoiling anything, I thought it might be fun to explore a little bit of the stuff that happened before, Paladin Unbound and everything. But it's not something that's going to necessarily change or, prohibit someone from appreciating these 3 books as a complete trilogy. So
nice.
So a few projects working on, and I don't have time for any of them. So, you squeeze it in when you can.
Oh yeah. But you keep plowing forward, right?
That's right.
That's all you can do.
Yep.
Now, when you are writing, how does the setting have to be? Do you like it to be completely silent? Do you like to listen to music? If you do listen to music, does it have to be lyric free, or can you just listen to whatever and it doesn't phase you?
Yeah, I would say generally lyric free. It wouldn't surprise you that I listen to a lot of like Elder Scrolls soundtrack stuff. The big epic fantasy kind of,
Mm-hmm.
music, Lord of the Rings soundtrack, all that kind of stuff
Right.
is
Get you in the
great.
vibe.
Yeah, it just gets you in, gets you the juices flowing, so to speak. And so I do listen to music a lot when I'm writing. Every once in a while, when I'm really trying to nail down a scene, I'll listen to like one song over and over and over and over again until I get the scene the way I want it to be, because like certain music will like resonate with a scene for me, and I'll say, this is what, this song kind of represents what I'm trying to do in this scene, and I'm just going to have that on loop while I'm trying to just get this to work out the way I want it to.
Nice.
So,
I like that. All
yeah.
right. All right. So we talked a little bit about your writing and your books and your journey and all that. So I want to switch gears for a little bit, and I have some questions for us to get to know you outside of your writing. Nothing crazy, pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
But before we switch gears, I like to play a little brain break game. And I have these 1 minute mysteries. So I'm gonna have you pick a number between 1 and 3, and that'll seal your fate, and see which one of these cards you get. And then I'll read you the mystery, and we'll see if you in the chat can solve it together.
Let's go with number 2.
2. All right. Here we go. Are you ready?
Help me out, chat.
All right. So I'll read you the case, the mystery, and the clues, and then I'll put the card up to the screen so that you can see it if you need to look at anything again.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. The case. Alvin is a healthy young man with no major health problems. One day he's driving to work. Something repeatedly happens to his body that causes his heart to stop. Each attack is so violent he's unable to open his eyes whenever it occurs. When he recovers, he continues driving as if nothing has happened. So the mystery is, what is happening to Alvin, and why does he continue to drive in a carefree manner? Now, before I give you any clues, do you feel like you know what it is, or do you want the clues?
Off the top of my head, I have no clue. So you said his heart stops?
Yep, it says. All right, let me see these clues. If I feel, yeah, well, okay, I'll tell you I'll tell you the first 2. The third one I feel like might start to give you a hint. Too big of a hint. So I'll tell you the first 2 clues. It says Alvin is only able to keep one hand on the wheel during each attack, and the attacks force Alvin to make a loud, strange noise.
I don't want to know what Alvin's doing while he's driving his car with one hand on the wheel.
I know that's gonna make everyone's mind go in the wrong direction. All right, I'll just read you the rest of the clues so I can bring you back.
I've already ruined it. So,
all right. Alvin feels like his brain is coming out of his nose. Alvin's heart stops only for a second each time he's attacked, and his car is very dusty.
He's sneezing.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice job. What?
It only took every clue, but he's sneezing. All right.
Sneezing. Yep.
All right.
That was a hard one though.
Well, it was, it's no stuntman one. That was a layup, but
Oh, I know that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
I know it's hit or miss. Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, that's an easy one, and then sometimes it's like, geez, if I didn't already know the answer, I'd never know it.
Like sneezing, I should have gotten that one, to be honest. But did the chat jump in at all? Was everyone screaming sneezing?
Well, just with silly answers.
Okay.
Timothy said, attacked by a parasitic monster from the outer galaxy.
A probable scenario.
So close.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, are you ready for your questions?
Sure.
All right. And then chat, if you think of any good innocent not crazy questions for Jeff, just throw them in the chat and I'll decide if I want to ask him or not. All right, so first one, we'll keep it simple. What's your favorite color?
Orange.
Orange. Ooh, I haven't gotten orange as a favorite color before. Very nice. I like it. All right. What's your favorite food?
Ramen.
Ramen. You are just surprising me left and right. All right, now ramen. Does it matter if it's chicken, beef, or shrimp?
Not shrimp. Chicken or beef.
Okay. Chicken or beef.
I'm not a shrimp guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the shrimp? I don't know if I've ever even had the shrimp one. Does it actually taste like shrimp?
I don't know.
You're like, I'm not never gonna try it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Next one. We already kind of talked about the D&D stuff, which was a cool thing we didn't know about you. But what's a hobby or a talent or something you like to do that maybe we don't know that would surprise us?
Fly fishing.
Oh, that's a good one. You just got these ready to go, man. Fly fishing. How did you get into that?
It's something I've been doing since high school. I grew up, so my grandparents lived in Florida. And when I was a kid, I used to go down there, and it was like my family, my two sisters, me, and my sisters would want to like lay around in the sun all day, and I'd be like bored out of my mind. So I found an old fishing rod in the garage and found some worms and went out and fished at the lake that they live on and caught a bass.
Oh,
and
man.
I was like literally like, that was it.
Literally
like lit a fire. And so I kind of started fishing regularly, and then joined a fishing club when I was like in middle school or something like that. And learned about fly fishing, and started fly fishing like back then, late middle school, early high school, and I've been doing it ever since. So.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. How often do you go and do that now?
Not very often. I my oldest son Wyatt, he's really into fishing now. So I'm
I was just
trying
gonna
to
ask if any of your kids into it.
Yeah, we do. He does like it, and so I try to get out with him when I can and stuff like that. But it's not as often as I'd like. But we'll see. I got to make some more time for that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So why do they call it fly fishing? I guess I've never done it before. Where does the name come from?
So you're casting a little tiny fly, basically, and you don't, which has no weight. Like normally you're casting a heavy lure that would have the weight that pulls the line out.
Okay.
With fly fishing, you're actually casting the weight of the line. And the fly just kind of follows after and flops on the water. So.
Okay, interesting. I always wondered where it came from.
Yeah, like when there are different types of flies that you can use, but like the probably most iconic one is like a mayfly, and you match the hatches. They're coming off the water and they fly down and they land on the water and the trout eat them.
Oh yeah.
And so you're trying to emulate that process.
Okay. Very cool. What was your best haul ever fly fishing? How many fish did you catch?
So the craziest ever was saltwater fly fishing for striped bass at Montauk.
Oh wow!
During the fall blitzes there, when schools of striped bass are just crashing the beaches, and it was you couldn't even count. How many fish you caught. It was just insane. So it almost like wasn't fun after a while. You were like, this is just too easy. It's like,
yeah.
But it was crazy, and it was a blast. So
dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you like keep them and like prep them and eat them, or do you let them go?
Usually catch and release, but every once in a while you keep one. Like if you're out camping and doing it and stuff like that, you'll keep some and cook them up and everything.
You like to eat fish, but not shrimp.
Yeah. Right.
So you're picky with your seafood.
Well, to me, shrimp are just like little like aliens or bugs or something, and I just can't get past it. It's just a mental thing. That's all it is.
I love shrimp, but I don't like when the shrimp is not like. It's got to just look like a little piece of meat. I don't like when it's got the little feet on it still, or the whisker tentacle things. Yeah, it's creepy. I agree with you. Tim wanted to know if you meant Montauk on Long Island.
Yes, I grew up on Long Island.
Nice.
And
he's in that area too.
Yeah. So grew up on Long Island, and then after college and everything, moved to Manhattan. and then when we were settling down, starting a family, moved up to Connecticut. So,
okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Mrs. Molly McCabe just popped in here, another awesome author and booktuber. Thanks for being here, Molly. All right, we had a couple of
Her
questions.
book has been getting a lot of attention lately.
Yeah, Dark Bloom.
Yeah, I've got to check that out.
Yeah, you should. It's good. I read it. It's a good zombie book for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Good stuff. Let's see. ZK and AK asked, who are some authors you think are underrated besides yourself? I think you're underrated, but who else?
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Other authors that are underrated. Jonathan Navarre, indie sci-fi author, great guy, wonderful sci-fi writer. I think he's definitely underrated. Let's see, who else is underrated? I mean, it's coming to mind.
I know I put you on the spot. It's a tough.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough because I mean, you can I don't think enough people read David Gemmell.
That's true.
People should be out there reading Legend every day. You hear Malazan for days. Is there Malazan, whatever how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I know. I say it different every time.
Yeah, but everyone should read Legend by David Gemmell and be talking about that book. It's phenomenal. Those are two that come to mind.
Those are good ones.
A biggie and an indie. So.
Yeah. What was the name of the indie author? I'll have to look.
Jonathan Navarre, Nevair, and great stuff. He has a trilogy out called the Windtide trilogy, I believe it is, and then he does these Agent Renault, I think it is, or something like that.
I have heard of that.
And
I have heard of that.
Yeah, those are like one-off kind of spy-fi, he calls it. So they're fun books. So definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. We just had another person pop in. Contemplative Reader just arrived. Hello, my friend. And he is a fan of Druss and Gemmell. That's one I need to read too. I've heard so many people recommend that. Like, I got to get to it.
Yeah, it's will not disappoint.
Oh, have you read a lot of Gemmell?
A few of them. So not, I wouldn't say a lot, but
a few is good. I haven't read any, so that's a lot to me.
But I love his writing style. His characters are just fantastic, and it's really good stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's asked a couple good questions here too. He said he's making you think. He said, if you could meet any author, who would it be?
If I could meet any author, who would it be? Like I said, I mean, going back to my childhood, R.A. Salvatore is like, I hold him on a pedestal. Joe Abercrombie seems like a really fun guy. I wouldn't mind hanging out with Joe. So those are two that come to mind that I think would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what's your favorite R.A. Salvatore like sub series?
I go back to the old ones. We just finished with my youngest son, who's 12 now. We just finished listening to Crystal Shard, and that book still is fantastic. I still loved it. I was so into it, and I don't know how many times I've read that book, but I still could get into it. So
that's awesome. Is your son really like it too?
Yeah, he's really into fantasy at this point, and
awesome.
Loves dragons and all that stuff. But I say you should really start listening to some of these Drizzt novels, and he's totally into it. So
nice.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yep.
Let's see. And then he said, "Oh, and did you read First Law? Have you read Joe Abercrombie?"
Yep.
I love it. So good.
Yep. Fantastic stuff.
Oh man, I know. Which trilogy did you like the best?
From Joe Abercrombie?
Yep.
I liked the First Law. Last Argument of Kings, I think, is just a freaking masterpiece. I love that book.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I loved it too. Excited for his The Devils to check that one out when it comes out.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I think about an antagonist, can you beat Glokta?
I know.
I mean, anywhere in any book. I mean, I have a hard time. Have I ever liked a bad guy more than that character? I mean, like every chapter that he was in, I was just totally
oh
love
yeah,
it. So,
same. So good, so
yep.
good. Let's see. Keys had one more question that I thought was
Yeah.
really good. He said, if you could put yourself in any story, now would you want to be in those R.A. Salvatore stories?
You know what would be fun? I'd love to be in the Witcher stories. I
Oh,
mean, oh
nice.
man, that would be fun.
That would be.
Um,
Would you?
I
What would
I
you be?
love
A
that
witcher? Would
world.
you want to be a witcher or just live in that world?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely want to be a Witcher. I need to be genetically enhanced, so I would benefit greatly. But no, I mean, those books, that is another phenomenal series that really didn't get much attention until the video games and then the TV show, right?
Right.
And but fantastic stories, and
Okay.
I love that world. So that would probably be one that I'd like to jump into.
Nice. Okay, so you read most of the books and liked them?
I think I've read all of the Witcher
Okay.
books. Yeah.
That's good to know. I read the Last Wish, the first collection.
Yep.
I loved it, but then I've heard so many people say that when you get into the books, they're not as good. But I'm glad to hear that you like them.
It's they jump around a lot, and it can be a little tough to stay on track with them, and so I think some people fall off because of that. But I've had that problem in other series also, and I mean, and other books that I haven't even series read. I've heard people talking about how complex the stories get and all that kind of stuff, and
Oh
so
yeah.
I like them, and I enjoyed them, and I thought the characters there were great, and I think the world building is really what gets me with his work. So
Okay, cool. Well, then I will continue on. All I need
yeah,
is somebody to tell me they're good, and I want to
yeah.
keep going. All right, we just had another person pop in. I want to shout out John A. Douglas, awesome author and YouTuber. Yeah, man, we all want to say prayers out to John and his family. We're all thinking of you, man. I can't even imagine. So
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a kid be sick like that.
yeah,
And I've been there. I'm not sure if you've had the unfortunate experience of being
no,
there,
thank goodness, not like that.
but it's terrible. And
Yeah.
so John, yeah, we're all pulling for her and hope she's feeling better in the next few days. But
Yeah,
poor girl's been hit with one thing after the other.
exactly.
So we're pulling for you, man.
Yep. Anything you need, man, you let us know. We love you. All right, let's see. Now see, you might know what this means. Bruxus? Brooks deter me from wanting to be in the witchery. How do you say it? I don't even know how to say it.
I don't know. When you read a book, you just make it up yourself. It doesn't matter.
It probably sounds cool when you say it, though.
I don't know. I would say Bruxus, but it could be Bruises. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. No, I know what that is because I know what that is. I know what that is.
There are scary monsters in the Witcher world that you'd like to avoid. To be honest, the thing I love about the Witcher world is that you have all these scary monsters, but the people are actually worse.
True.
And there's this whole undercurrent of this deceit and this stuff, and it's like at least the monsters, you know what you're getting. You're gonna go up against one, and you're gonna this is what you're gonna have to do as a Witcher. His bigger problems are with all the politics and the backstabbing and all that kind of stuff, and so that's one of the things I love about that world.
It's still a hard sell on me for wanting to live in that world. You're not really selling me on it. You think these monsters are bad? They're not even the worst thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a farmer, but as a Witcher, that would be awesome.
That's true. If you could be a Witcher, that would be sweet. I agree. And John replied and said that she's doing well, all things considered. We love to hear that, my friend. That's good. One day at a time.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Let me go back to my questions. So I feel like so I just have some similar to that a little bit, but just some of your favorite things. I want to know. Oh yes, that's what I thought it was. Keith said it's the female vampire. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. Good. All right. So what would you say? I kind of think I might know this answer now, but what would you say is your favorite book? If you can only pick one or maybe two.
I think my favorite is probably Legend by David Gemmell.
Okay. Nice. I was gonna say that or the Crystal Shard you were just talking about.
Yeah, that's the nostalgia pick for
Okay.
sure. But in terms of like a book that really, resonated and stuck with me, I would definitely say, Legend by Gemmels is right up there.
Nice. Man, I got to read that one too.
Yeah.
All right. What about, well, I actually already know this one because you said it earlier. I was going to say favorite video game, but I'm guessing
Okay.
it's Elder Scrolls
Elder
Oblivion.
Scrolls Oblivion is definitely my favorite. Skyrim is great, but Oblivion to me just hit harder. So
have you played any of the newer games like Elden Ring, or not Elden Ring? Yeah, Elden Ring, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other cool fantasy ones that have come out lately.
yeah, I've played Elden Ring. I think I got past the first boss, and then that game just like is so ridiculously hard.
I'm the same way.
There was a time in my life when I could probably hang and play that game because I was a pretty serious gamer for a while.
Yeah.
But today I just don't have
Grinding.
I just don't have it. I play with my kids, and I'm like my middle son plays Fortnite, and I'm like, how the heck are you doing all this stuff at once? I just can't do it. And
I know. He'll play with me and he kills me so fast. I don't get that you have to jump and shoot at the same time and
while you're building things
around you. Yeah,
and then he's putting holes in walls and shooting through the holes in the wall. I'm just like, I can't be.
I'm like, what's the shoot button? Yeah. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Take me back to Call of Duty and I will snipe you every round and you wouldn't stand a chance. But you start being able to build walls around yourself. I can't hang.
Yeah, you lose me. Yep. I agree. Oh, that's awesome. All right. What about favorite movie?
Favorite movie. Let's see. I'm a big Jason Bourne fan. Loved those movies.
Nice. Those are good.
The Matrix is just like right up there at the top. Nice. Those kind of action films I think are probably some of the ones that I love the most.
Oh yeah.
There's some classics that you could go back to, but I don't want to be pretentious. So
that's not pretentious. If you like them, you like them. That's okay. Okay, what's one classic that you really liked?
I go back to like Citizen Kane and stuff like that. I mean, I love.
Oh yeah, that's pretentious, man.
Yeah, but I love it's not even the story. It's just how he filmed those movies. I mean, they're just gorgeous, and you could just watch them over and over and over again, and just be in love with his artistry. So it's
for sure. I love it. Timothy said he knew you were going to say Citizen Kane.
Am I that predictable, Timothy?
Oh man, he didn't know. He's messing. He didn't know. Let's see. What about, do you find time like nowadays to watch any like streaming shows or anything like that? Any shows you watch that have caught your attention lately?
Yeah, let's see. What have I watched recently? Let's see. I've been keeping up with. I just watched this second season of Castlevania Nocturne with my oldest son. I mean, those Castlevania shows are phenomenal. I really love them. I liked Arcane. I thought they did a great job with that. That was a lot of fun. Let's see, what else have I watched lately? I'm trying to think that maybe something that isn't animated. There was a show, Outer Range? Is that what it's called? With Josh Brolin?
Oh, yeah.
And he's a rancher and he's got like this portal on his land, and that was a really interesting show. I thought
it looked interesting. I didn't watch it though. It was good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Okay.
Good to
nice. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, very cool. Those are a few that I've watched recently.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Do you read any manga or comics? Have you ever been a comic or manga guy?
Yeah. So my son just turned me on to what's the name of it? It was a manga series. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of it?
Is it an older one or a newer one?
No, I think it's a newer one. Okay. I can't remember the name of it. Night something angels.
Oh gosh, I probably don't know then if it's a newer one. What's it about?
So it's about this young woman who wakes up not knowing anything, like not having any memory, and
Okay.
she finds out that she's like this trained um, warrior who has to fight aliens that have invaded Earth. Basically, it's
That sounds
really
pretty
neat.
sweet.
I can't remember why I can't remember the name of
Yeah.
it.
If anybody knows in the chat, let us know.
Yeah,
Now I'm gonna have to Google that up because that sounds like a lot of fun.
I'll have to text. Let me text Wyatt. I'll ask him because he'll remember.
Oh yeah, he'll know.
Yeah, we can go on to other questions and I'll come back to you on
Okay.
that one. 'Cause I'll feel so dumb when he tells me because it's literally sitting right next to my bed and it's so good.
Oh man, you're like actively reading it and you can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, that's my life right there.
Oh man, yeah, there it is. Okay, what about comics? Did you read comics back in the day, like superheroes and DC,
Yes.
Marvel? Like, what was your jam?
I was a huge Spider-Man fan
Nice.
growing up. And then started really liking Batman when it became like the Dark Knight kind of
Oh yeah,
stuff. I really liked that when it got
yep,
grittier and
yep. Me too.
those were great ones.
Yep.
When I was really young, the Star Wars comic books, I was that, and GI Joe comic books when I
Oh
was young.
yeah, I remember those too. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some great classic comic book series there. Today, I picked up not too long ago a couple of the new like Darth Vader ones that follow him and stuff like that. I mean, just fun stuff like that. And
yeah,
I wouldn't mind taking a crack at that as a way of getting some content out at some point. We'll see.
yeah. There you go.
It'd be a fun project.
Like doing like comics.
Yeah.
Books.
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah! That'd be
not of these 3 books, but maybe take
just in general.
No, like take there are certain things like that could be kind of episodic like that I think you could do a series of like, a few comic books in my world and have it be kind of fun.
Heck
So
yeah, dude. That'd be awesome.
so we'll see.
And with Kickstarter and stuff now, you can do so many things, right?
Yeah. But pipe dreams, we'll see. It's we'll get there at some point. I'd actually have to
what you're writing first.
Yeah, exactly. So
because soon I'm going to be done with these 3 and I'm going to be ready for what you're working on. So
I just remember it's Tomahawk Angel is what it is.
Tomahawk Angel.
I just remembered on my own with my own brain.
Did you look at your phone?
No, I remembered it. I'm typing it in now to make sure, but it is Tomahawk Angel.
Tomahawk Angel.
And
all right, I'm going to check that out. That sounds sweet.
And I've done I read book 1, which was fantastic. I'm halfway through book 2, which has been a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I'm totally digging it. And I think he shared it with me, so I would just end up buying him the series so that like
so that you'll get into it and just
I'll get into it and I'll be like, yeah, let's just get how many books are there? Let's get them all,
Right.
But so far it's great. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
Nice. All right, I'll check that one out. That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you read like Berserk, Vinland Saga, any of those ones?
I haven't done Berserk.
Okay.
I'd like to. It's a commitment though. It's a big series, right? I mean, so I would like to do that.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be on my list.
I feel like you'd like Vinland Saga too.
Yeah.
It's like like Vikings, historical, kind of really low magic. It's pretty good. Good.
Well, I love
the anime is really good.
I love Viking stuff. I mean, that's another show to stream. That Vikings show, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So much fun.
A lot of good stuff.
Yep.
For sure. I agree. I forgot to ask at the very beginning. I usually start off by asking my question of the day that I do all the time.
Okay.
Today was too easy though, because I knew you were coming on, so I asked a specific question. So I kind of already know what your main answer will be, but I want you to tell me what your second choice would be.
Okay.
Have you seen it yet or no?
No.
If not, it's okay. So I asked, out of these usually fantasy villainous type characters, which one makes the best hero protagonist? And I said orcs. So I'm guessing that's what you would pick. But now out of these other ones, what would you choose? I said trolls, demons, or goblins.
Okay, so I orcs is obviously my first answer.
And that's been the winner across the board too.
And I wanted to, one of the things that I've always loved orcs, and and in D&D, I always loved the half orc kind of.
Okay, I wondered. Yeah.
So, so I wanted to subvert that normal, view of orcs, that they're just these like evil, mindless, monsters that are, just come at you in waves, and you're, all that kind of stuff. And so that's why I chose to, write about Umra, who's half orc and really marginalized by his world. And so the second would be demons, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a demon that has, found its way from their natural state of corruption and everything to be a hero of sorts is a really cool, really cool story. So,
I agree.
That would be my second choice.
I like it. Those would be my top two as well. I like it.
Awesome.
Have you read, what's it called? I haven't read them, but I have them. The Gray Bastard series, I think, by Jonathan French.
John French. I've got the first one. I have not had a chance to read it yet. But
it sounds pretty fun.
I mean, they're riding like boars and everything.
Yeah,
and
it's like kind of like Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It sounds fantastic, and I really do have to get to it. And I try to support all things orcish.
Oh yeah,
John Douglas.
John's book.
I got to read that early, and I loved it. It was such a fun story.
Yep,
I'm reading another very different look at half orc, right? I mean, his character is like this coddled little prince that's never been out in the world and is so genteel and everything, and has to learn what the real world is like. And it's a great coming of age story and a lot of fun. And so John and I bonded over that. It's we're both half orc.
Oh yeah,
authors, so can't go wrong.
You can't. Very true. All right, so we are at an hour. I can chat for a little while, but I want to be respectful of your time. So if you need to wrap it up, we can wrap it up, or we can stay on a little bit longer. It's
totally up to you. I'm good to go. I'm here for you.
All right. Well, I'm here for you. So let's keep chatting.
We're here to be beast friends forever. So
that's right. Beast friends forever. That's right. Can't escape it now. All right. So I guess I want to go back a little bit to when you got published at first. Before you did kind of the contest thing where you got found that way. What were you thinking as publishing before that? Were you going to try to go with a publishing group, go traditional? What were your plans before that all happened?
Yeah, I queried some agents and everything to try to check out the traditional route. I gave up on it pretty quickly. There were a lot of letters sent into the void and stuff like that never came back. And that's fine. And I realized pretty quickly that traditional publishing finds something hot and that's all they want. And, at the time it was, it just a traditional type high dark fantasy like what I was writing was not what the traditional market wanted. And so instead of keeping pounding my head against that wall, I started exploring, self-publishing. And then when I threw my hat in the ring on that Twitter competition, I settled on going with the indie pub. I think my next few books going forward, I think I might try the self-pub route and see how that goes.
Nice. Okay.
I think I'd like it. There's the great thing about my experience with Literary Wanderlust is that they allowed me a lot of creative latitude in terms of like the covers are what I wanted on the cover. It wasn't something they came up with and kind of forced. That is really nice. And I had to get approval from them for it and everything, but they weren't trying to strong arm me on, you need to have this, you need to have that.
They just wanted to make sure it looked good.
Exactly. Look good and fit, stuff like that. So, so it's been a really good experience overall, but I wouldn't mind really trying to do something from the ground up and kind of, building it all on my own. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Especially if you finish that short story first too. I mean, that's a great way to kind of try it all out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's kind of the plan. I'm working on that now. I hope that I'll be able to wrap that up. I mean, it's amazing how slow my progress has been on these things, but
Well,
we'll
you've had
see.
a lot going on.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is that short story connected to the book that you're working on, or is it connected to this one?
So it's connected to a little bit connected to Forsate, who is Umra's sword.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it's connected to that, but
Okay.
but the sword is not the main focus of it, but it's connected to that sword. So
intriguing. You got my attention.
So
I'm excited. Awesome. Very cool. What was the last book you read?
I was just finishing up on, let's see, so after I did some of the Dungeon Crawler Carl books, which were absolutely freaking hysterical.
Oh yeah.
I really like those. And then I jumped over to John Gwynn.
Oh, nice.
And I was doing what's the name of the first one in the
his newer one or his older one?
The newer one.
Shadow of the Gods.
Shadow of the Gods, yeah. So yeah, the Shadow of the Gods, and now I'm doing Hunger of the Gods. So
nice.
So, really liking that series. I mean, Orca, I think, is a phenomenal character. I really digging her story arc so far. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm really liking that at the moment.
Very nice.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Are you doing audio for those?
Yeah, audio for those right now. Yeah, because that's I can,
so nice.
There's so many more occasions where I can actually consume with an audiobook than sitting down and sitting with a physical. I still prefer just sitting down with a physical. Same. If I had all the time in the world, I would do that all the time. But
right. Oh yeah.
But with limited time and still wanting to be active, reading and everything, the audiobooks are a nice tool. So
yeah, for sure. All right. So since you do like to read physically, here's another big question for you.
Yeah.
Paperback or hardcover?
I go for hardcovers if I can. I mean, I just love them. I love the feel of them, and there's just something about it that I just, but a good paperback, I mean, I'm good with, but like those little tiny small ones that are like, 4 times thicker than they need to be because they're so tiny, no, I'm not into that.
They're like thick and you have to like really hold open
the
paper to read
you can't see the words on the margin,
so I know you give me a good like floppy trade paperback, the big 6x9. Oh that's nice.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Exactly.
Well, I'm doing ebook and your paperback, and it's a nice paperback. It's a good reading experience. I like it.
Yeah.
It's very nice. You did a good job picking out. Do they give you different options for like paper quality, size, like all that kind of stuff, or do they just kind of do that?
They have a standard for but their standard I thought was pretty high quality. So
very nice.
I liked the matte covers. I liked the quality of the paper and everything, and so I had no issues there. They put together a nice book. So one of the things they don't do is hardcovers, and so that's why I don't have those.
Yeah.
But at some point, I'm thinking I'd like to do like a special edition and put all 3 books in one.
Yeah.
Omnibus. In the omnibus and do something like that. So I think at some point I'd like to explore that, and so we'll see.
I like it.
Another project I don't have time for, but
another thing you don't have time. Well, you said your favorite color was orange earlier, so we just had Mr. Tom Orange pop in.
Look at that.
Another lover of orange.
There you go.
As well.
Yeah.
And then another awesome content creator, reviewer, Shane. What's up, Shane? Thanks for popping in, my friend.
How's it going?
So yeah, we've had a lot of awesome people in the chat. It's been
absolutely. I'm thrilled.
Me too.
And some new people that don't know me, like it's not that like Charlie Cavendish, who Charlie.
I know that name. Why? I don't.
So he is a big reviewer, and he's over on Fanfiatics and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, that's right.
He's a great guy. He's Australian, so it's like the middle of his workday right now, so he can't be on it. And I'm like, but Charlie, you already know all the answers. You've been on like every one of these things I've ever done,
He's
and like
seen all your answers.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to be sitting through this again. So it was nice to see some new faces here today that I don't know as well and that don't know me as well. So it's been great.
Yep, exactly. And just in case I forget to say, all the links to your books will be in the description down below. Anybody in the chat or anybody watching the replay, if you want to check out Jeff's books, I also put your website in there.
Okay.
Do you sell direct from your website or just on?
I do. I can sell signed copies direct on my website. And I'm in the process of reworking my website. So we'll see. That's another thing that like has taken me 8 times longer than it should have. But my website's pretty cool. It was pretty cool for Paladin Unbound because it kind of led you into the story a little bit. But I found that it wasn't as functional for like now I've got 3 books out and I've got other stuff going on, and I wanted to have a little more in terms of keeping people up to date on what I'm working on and everything. And so I'm kind of retooling that right now. So that might change a little bit, but yeah, so it's I can sell direct if people are interested in signed copies, or you can just DM me and we can. I'm happy to answer people that way.
True. Yep. Very true. Now, do these have audio? These books?
So Paladin Unbound and Mystic Reborn are out. We're just finishing up God Ascended. I think the chapters just got sent to ACX this week, and so we should be putting the finishing touches on that, and I can't wait to get that out. And then for those that like to listen to audiobooks on YouTube, I'm part of a great YouTube channel called Epic Audiobooks.
Oh, nice.
Epic Fantasy Audiobooks.
Yeah.
Which was a channel that Zach Argyle started, and Paladin Unbound, Mystic Reborn are on there along with a lot of other great stuff.
Sweet.
And those are all like free to the listeners, but like the channels, you got to go through a couple commercials to, so some people like that, some people don't, but if you want to check out a chapter or two to see if you're going to like the whole experience, it's not a bad way to check it out. So
that's cool. That's awesome. That's good to know.
Yeah,
I'll have to add that down there too, because we have Cinna or Library on Legs. She's a big audio reader. That's all she does, and she usually always asks. So I always try. If she's not here, I try to remember to ask. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
It was great. Literary Wanderlust did Paladin Unbound's audiobook as part of our first deal, and then they didn't want to do audiobooks anymore after that. And so I got the rights back to Paladin, and then same narrator Adam Blanford did Mystic Reborn and God Ascended, and so have the whole trilogy, and him and I would just work on it. That is self-published now, I guess, because him and I have just done that ourselves, and so
that's awesome. That's very cool.
That's been fun.
Nice. So they found him, or did they give you some options and you picked him?
So we did auditions through ACX, and he auditioned, and I went through like 25 or 30 different auditions, and we picked him, and he's been great to work with and has done a really fun job with the books. So
very cool.
So they're out there, and the hopefully God Ascended will be out soon. So
very cool. Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Let's see. I'm bouncing around now because we've talked about so many different things.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give you whiplash, but going back to when you were talking about loving Spider-Man and Batman growing up, what do you think about the movies that have come out? Like, what was your favorite Spider-Man set of movies? Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. Which one's your favorite?
Fun fact, the scene where Doc Octopus is hanging Harry out over the building in front of his apartment.
Yeah.
The light that he's hanging him in front of is my apartment when I lived in Manhattan.
What? No way.
Yep. They used my apartment to light. They filmed that in Tudor City, and I lived in Tudor City. And they filmed that scene on the roof of my building, and they hung him in front of my light. So they actually came in and they lit up my whole room with my whole apartment with these floodlights, and then hung him right in front of it. So I have a soft spot for the Tobey Maguire series because I felt like I was a part of it. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Were you there when they did filmed it?
No, I wasn't there when they filmed it, but they had the whole area kind of blocked off and all that kind of stuff, and and I had just bought that apartment, so I wasn't living in it yet, and so it was great because it was empty for them to be able to.
That worked out good for them.
And then I moved in there not too long after, and so but that was a lot of fun.
That is so cool. That you need to get like a framed screen shot, like printout of that.
I should have that. You're right. I should definitely
That would
do
be cool. Yeah.
Yep. So
that's wild. I'm gonna have to watch that after this and look it up just to see.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. But I'll tell you, the Into the Spider-Verse stuff, they crushed that series. So those movies are fantastic. Those are a lot.
Good. I agree. Yeah, that's true. Those are excellent.
Yep.
I agree. What about Batman?
I'm a Christian Bale, Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's just, to me, those movies are just so good, so well done. And him fighting Bane on the New York Stock Exchange stairs. I mean, it's fantastic. So Liam Neeson.
Oh yeah.
As Ra's al Ghul. I mean, it was
so good.
Fantastic series of movies. So I love that. So
I agree. And yeah, contemplative reader. Good point. Alfred Molina, he was awesome.
Absolutely, yeah.
Jack,
classic.
Very good.
Willem Dafoe was fantastic in the Spider-Man movies too, as Green Goblin. I mean, he was
even in the newer one that he came back for.
Yep.
Like, whew, he was awesome in that.
But Molina was amazing.
Yeah, he was for sure. I'm excited to see what James Gunn does with the new Batman movie he's working on, because it's supposed to be further along and all the Robins exist, and it'll be interesting. Instead of starting from the very beginning, it'll be cool to see somebody do it where he's already kind of established. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, you feel like all you've gotten is a lot of different takes on the origin story kind of stuff, and I agree with you. I'd like to think you did get the one with I mean, it was like the Batman versus Superman ones where he was older, more mature, and kind of coming out of retirement for some of that stuff, and so that was a different take on Bruce Wayne and Batman and everything, and so so that's some good stuff, but I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of retirement, I would love to see them do a movie of either Batman Beyond or like the Dark Knight, the one by Frank Miller, like that whole. That would be a sweet movie too.
Oh yeah,
that would be pretty awesome.
Yep.
But we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah. Batman Beyond was wonderful.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
All those animated series were so good back in the 90s, like the Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, X-Men. They're all so good.
When you had which one was Mark Hamill the Joker for? Was he? That was
the Batman animated series.
Yeah, Batman animated series.
Yeah, that's wild. So good. Yep. Well, and then him and oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. Oh, what's the guy that did Batman's voice that just passed away? Oh man.
Oh,
my mind just totally went blank.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat help us if we can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how do I? Kevin? No. Oh my gosh, why can I not remember?
Yeah, I'm blanking.
But anyway, he's.
Yep.
They were in the Arkham Knight games together too.
Yeah.
Those games were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't. It's like something Conroy. Dang it, it's gonna bother me now. Is it just Kevin Conroy?
I don't
Molly,
know.
I think you might be right.
Kevin
That's
Conroy,
what I was thinking. But... Oh yeah, good. 2 people said it, so
all right.
I was there. It just seemed like, is that right? But I think it is. And then Tom's a huge Superman fan, so he's really hoping that will end up being good.
I'm looking forward to that also. To see the trailer looked solid, and so I'm hoping that they some of these big movie houses have to redeem themselves because some of that stuff's gone downhill. But
I know.
I think delivering a good Superman movie would be fantastic
Oh,
for
it
everybody.
would
So
be so great. I know. We'll see. It looks promising, but like you said, they've, especially on the DC side, besides maybe The Dark Knight with Christian Bale, those movies, it hasn't been very good. So
I thought Henry Cavill did a nice
yeah,
Superman.
he did.
But yeah,
He
just in
played the
general,
part,
it's
for
been
sure.
yeah.
They
But in
just
general, it's
seem
been
to
tough.
rush things too much
Yeah,
instead of letting them simmer. Marvel let all that stuff cook for years and years and
yeah,
years, and DC tried to just quick do it, and it's like they had some good ideas, but they just rushed too much stuff, I think.
yeah. And now Marvel's, I feel like they're struggling for.
Yeah, now they're on the bad end, so I
Yep,
know they got to do a little soft reboot, I think.
yep,
Kind of get
exactly.
back to what made it good. Like I just saw that the teaser trailer for Fantastic Four came out. I didn't
Yep,
watch it yet, but so that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Your dog hasn't barked this whole time. I just realized that.
No,
I heard it. Your dog
I'm gonna have to give Henry some compliments for keeping them quiet down there for me. So
Yep.
he probably locked them in a closet somewhere or something, so he could play video games and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, you better check that out when we
Yeah.
get off of here.
Yep.
Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, so I think we'll wrap it up here because it is getting close to 8:30, and that's usually when I try to start getting my kids to bed.
Awesome.
So thanks for coming on, man. This was a blast. I had a lot
Thanks
of
for
fun.
having me. This was wonderful. I had a great time.
Me too.
Awesome talking to you.
Yeah, yeah, same here. When you get, we'll keep in touch. We chat from time to time.
Yep.
But when like the short story is getting ready to come out, or that your next book, I definitely want to have you on again for that. Or if you just want to come on and hang out again anytime, I'd love to have you on. But for sure.
Or we teach you how to play some D&D and
yes,
get that going. So I'm all for it.
I love that. We should find some people and do that. At least one other person who's never done it, so I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. There's some within the book community. There are some great people to play with. I think we could get a pretty good squad together. That'd be fun.
Yes, I love it. All right, we'll do that. I
Awesome.
like to send that. So thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys were awesome as always. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then, like I said, all Jeff's links and everything will be in the description. Check out his books. I'm reading the first book, Paladin Unbound, right now, and it is very good. So I highly recommend it. Look forward to some me updating you on that progress in my videos coming up. But I am loving it so far. So yeah, that's it. Everybody, thank you so much. I actually don't have another Beast Friends Forever scheduled until next week, Tuesday, because I'm out of town this weekend. And off the top, well, I'll be back next week with these. I can't remember if it's on Tuesday or Monday. So hold on. Actually, I can look at my phone real quick. Hold on. I like to tell people when the next one is. So let me look here. It is going to be on. Maybe. My phone will load. Oh, I'm getting that dead time that you're supposed to avoid. What is happening to my phone? It's frozen. Okay, here we go. All right, so next week, Tuesday, I'll be back with an indie author, Matt Sean Bell. And he writes some fantasy that I think you guys would like. So look forward to that next Tuesday. But that's it. That's all I got for you. So everybody have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will have videos out, so I'll see you guys there. But the next live will be a week from today. So hopefully I will see you guys all back then. So have a great night. Have a great week. I will talk to you guys later. Jeff, is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
Just thank you very much, everyone that tuned in, and thanks for having me on.
All right, awesome. So as I always say, beasties, until I see you in the next one, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see you guys.